Windows Server 2019 System Administration. Welcome back everybody. I'm Prakash Pradhan, your trainer for this entire series. This is the part 2 of our domain trust. If you remember in our previous video, we have gone through the entire process of having a trust between two domains, and we have also successfully set a trust between two domains, and we have seen certain requirement that was supposed to be in order to have a domain trust between the two domains. Now, since this is a part 2, we are going to see practically how the client is going to log on from the one domain to the next domain. So if you have not seen a previous video, please go through that. Now over here, the scenario was something like this. Two domains are there. One is the viatech.com and the second one is the global.com. So we have done the two-way trust. Okay, it's a two-way trust. That means any of the client, whoever is a member of this global.com, since we are having the two-way trust, this global.com, any user can log in a viatech.com. Similarly, any client or any member of this viatech.com, okay, having the credential that is being stored in viatech.com will be able to log in using the viatech.com credential into the global.com. So this is our scenario. Let's have a look over here. This is a domain, it's a global.com. Let's log in and see. So this is my second domain actually. So this is a global.com and this one is your viatech.com. So over here, if you see, I have created one username, okay, and the name of user is HR1. Now if I go to global.com, you'll find that HR username does not exist in their group. So let's see over here, users and computers, you'll find that HR1 does not exist in this domain environment. Since we have got the trust between the two domains, now we are going to see practically that the member of viatech.com, who is the user as a HR1, will be able to log in using in this domain. That means if we see over here, there is no user called, see, there is no one. There is no user called HR1. Now, what I'm going to do over here, this client, okay, let's have a look at the client. This is my client. Since it is a continuation of our previous video, I don't think it's going to take a long time. See, this is one user, HR1. If I log in over here, this HR1 is using the credential of viatech.com. So let's say if I log in over here using this viatech.com. Now, I have used the domain viatech.com. Okay, no problem. So I'm going to click it using another user first. No problem. Okay, now I'm going to log off and I'm going to log in using this HR1 name. Okay, because HR1 was logged in over here. Okay, now let it log in. Then I'm going to take you to the same domain, but this time after logging as a HR1, I'm going to log off. Okay, and I'm going to use this time different domain, but still HR1 will be able to log in. Okay, so let's see how long it takes. It shouldn't take that much long, since I have opened so many virtual machines in spite of having a higher RAM. It takes time sometime. Okay, almost done. In between, we'll see our domain. The trust is done or not successfully. You remember domain and trust. Okay, now go to the trust, that means your domain name. If I go to the property here, viatech.com should be listed in a trusted domain. See, viatech.com is in a trusted domain of global.com. Similarly, if I go to global.com, that means that is, we have already seen global.com have trusted viatech.com. And if I go to the viatech.com, the global.com should have been listed over there as a trust, because two-way trust was done last time in our previous video. If you have missed that, please go through that. Otherwise, this session, you will not be able to understand what we are doing. So let it open the console. As I told you, so many virtual machines are open over here. That's why it's taking time. But no worries, the console will open, don't worry. Okay, here we go. Now that means in viatech.com, whom do we have trusted over here? That's a global.com. See, that means two-way trust is done. Okay, So that part was done. Now the final part to test was the logging in a PC that is a member of your Microsoft, that means your Viatec.com. This PC is a member of your Viatec.com, not a global.com. Okay, now let's see practically whether it's true or not, because I need to show you that this domain is a member of your Viatec.com, okay, not a global.com. So over here I'm going to use, just I would like to show you that it's a Viatec.com member. See, it's a Viatec.com, domain name is Viatec.com. Okay, now what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to log off this PC and we are going to use a domain as a global.com, not a Viatec.com. Okay, let's see. Let's sign out and then we are going to use different credential. Did it fully log off? Okay. Normally this happens when we open multiple machines at the same time. Okay, log off, no problem. Now I'm going to create one user. Okay, that user I'm going to create it, in fact, in a different domain. Let's say I'm going to create it in your global.com. See, let's create one user in a global.com and we are going to use a Viatec.com domain to log in. Okay, let's say global, just the same name I'm going to use. Okay, this is global user. This is created in a domain global, so I'm giving the username itself as a global. Okay, it is done. Now you see one user called global is been created in a domain global.com. But right now this PC, which we have seen just now, we have witnessed, this PC is a member of Viatec.com. That means global.com user has nothing to do with this domain. That means this PC. But since we have already having a two-way trust, so here we are going to log in using that global username and still it should be able to log in. Okay. Okay, now you have seen that this PC is a member of Viatec.com. Okay, now the user that we have created is a global and that user global is a member of the global.com. Now since the two-way trust is already set, now here I'm going to log in a domain PC that is a member of Viatec.com, but the user credential I'm going to provide from the global.com. So let's see, global and password. It should give one error. This is intentionally made error. I would like to show you, that's why. If I try to log in over here, you say username or password is incorrect. Then you might be wondering, oh, while creating a username, we might have made a mistake. So that's why a user from the global.com is not able to log in a domain PC that is a Viatec.com. If you guess, that is the right guess, I guess. This domain is a Viatec. And the credential that I'm using, global.com, does not exist in a Viatec.com. So I need to change my fully qualified domain name over here. That means @global.com. Did you notice here now? Sign into global.com. Though this PC is a member of Viatec.com, but because of the two-way trust, now this credential will be authenticated. See here now, it should be able to log in. And whatever resources are being shared in a global.com, okay, that resource can be easily utilized or used as if it was in a same network environment. Since it is a first login, so it's going to take a time, so wait for a few seconds. As usual, Windows 10, it takes time, it loads the profile. Okay, so many things are there. Almost done verifying. It's the same old story. It's taking us. Okay, don't worry, it's gonna load it, the entire profile. Then I'll show you that though this is a domain, this viatech.com, but the credential that we have used is from a global.com. Since it is a two-way trust, now it's done. So showing this image itself, it proves that our work is done. So wait for a few seconds more. Of course, we are not going to wait for the so many minutes. So it's saying several minutes. This is only for the information. Everybody knows that it's not gonna take that much long. But comparing to the physical machine, it's a virtual, it might take a bit longer than a normal, that means a few seconds. It should have rewritten, it might take several seconds, I guess. I don't know why Microsoft does this. It might be, it depends upon your physical setup. It might be something like that. Okay, it's going on. Almost done. Okay, congratulations. Now the login is done successfully. That means this user is a member of your global.com. But the PC that we have used, that PC is a member of viatech.com. So that means the two-way trust is done successfully. Okay, congratulations, your entire process is done successfully, and I hope now you all are able to work it out in an environment of the domain trust where the one user from the one domain is easily accessible to the credential using it from one domain to the next domain. If you find it easy to understand, it was easy going, okay, and you find it's a fruitful, please do like and subscribe. Thank you.